Hi, I'm so glad you're here today for our devotion on identity, design, and purpose. Before we continue, 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 9, I want to look at the verse that's following this one as Peter kind of concludes his thought. So let's read these two verses together. But you are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, his own special people, that you may proclaim the praises of him who brought you out of darkness into his marvelous light. And verse 10 says, who once were not a people, but are now the people of God, who had not obtained mercy, but now have obtained mercy. I think there's a lot of richness in this verse if we consider Peter and where he came from in the context of his life and his ministry. So Peter, just like all of the disciples of Jesus, was a Jew. He was born a Jew. He lived with Jews. He worked with Jews. He worshiped with Jews. He loved Jews. And he felt called to the Jewish people. And I think when he began to walk with Jesus and serve with Jesus, I'm sure he probably thought that he would be serving the Jewish people for the rest of his life, and that his life would be served spreading the word to the Jewish people that Jesus, the Messiah, had come. But something happened to Peter in Acts chapter 10, and if you haven't read that story, I encourage you to do so because it's really powerful. God came to Peter in a dream and showed Peter that actually Jesus came for the Gentiles also, and that God was calling Peter even to the Gentiles. The Gentiles were people that Peter considered outcasts, different, not his people, and even unclean. And yet here God is turning his world upside down and saying, no, I have chosen those people, and I have redeemed those people, and I'm calling you to those people. So I find it very interesting that this verse 10 is actually quoting again from an Old Testament verse, like Peter quoted Old Testament verses in verse 9. So let's look at this scripture together. It's Hosea chapter 2, verse 23, and you'll recognize it. This is God speaking, and he says, then I will sow her for myself in the earth, and I will have mercy on her who had not obtained mercy. Then I will say to those who were not my people, you are my people. And they shall say, you are my God. Wow, so powerful. I think what Peter is doing here is he's recognizing in scripture that he's known from childhood that God all along knew that he was going to call and redeem the Gentiles. Peter is recognizing that we have always been a part of God's story. Peter's telling us that we are not a plan B, that we are not the second string. We actually were part of the plan the whole time. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that all who believe in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. All who believe in him. God planned it all along that we would be a part of this story. So today I want you to know and walk in the truth that you are not a plan B, and you are not the second string. Rather, you are the people of God, and through Christ you have obtained mercy. And then I hope that you'll come back tomorrow as we conclude our study on 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 9, about our identity, design, and especially our purpose. Be blessed today.